Part 4, the last video for this section, converting between customary and metric. So there will be times where maybe we'll start in inches, but we want to end up in kilometers or something like that. So we've got to be able to jump from one to the other. If you look on page 93 at the very bottom, there are some conversions between US and customary. So we are going to do page 91 together. And we will start with number 1. So number 1, guests at a party consumed 50 liters of wine. How many gallons is this? Well, we start with what they give us, 50 liters. And if you look at page 93 in the middle where it says volume, we notice that 1 quart is 0.946 liters, or 1 liter is 1.06 quarts. You can use either one. I'll let you know that I generally say, hey, I know that liters has to go on the bottom, so I want to put 1 on the bottom because I don't like to divide. I would rather multiply. So I know that 1 liter is approximately 1.06 quarts. Now, my liters go away and now I'm in quarts. Is that what I want? No, Becky, that's not what you want. No, it's not. I want gallons. So now you've got to go to your customary units and say, okay, I've got quarts. Can I go to gallons from quarts? Yes. 4 quarts is 1 gallon. So that allows my quarts to go away, and now I'm in gallons. So I would take 50 times 1.06 divided by 4, and I'm going to come up with an answer of 13.25 gallons. Okay, so you've got, so notice here, let's give me a funky color. Notice in this here, we wanted to go from liters to gallons, but it wasn't possible. We had to start with liters to quarts. So you've got to let your formula page, page 93, that conversion page, guide you. Tell you what you're going to go to next. So you always start with, I started with liters. Look at your chart. What can you go to from liters? And then kind of take it from there. So let's look at number 2. Okay, so a person weighing 200 pounds weighs how many kilograms? So what do we start with? 200 pounds. And if you look at page 93, we know that 1 pound is 0.454 kilograms. So notice that one, when you cross out your pounds, goes immediately to kilograms and you're done. So when you multiply those, you get 90.8 kilograms. Now, I do want to show you what happens if you use the other one. So again, we started with 200 pounds. Now, if you used 1 kilogram is 2.2 pounds, because that is also there on that other page. If you use that one, you notice, okay, your pounds cancel out. So now we're taking 200 divided by 2.2, and you get 90.91 kilograms. So notice how your answer is kind of the same, but kind of not. So just pay attention, be aware. We'll talk about this more in class about how do you know when to use what, or is it bad or is it good or whatever. But really, either one of them is correct. These are approximations. And we know that approximations aren't exact. They're approximate. All right, let's go to number 3. All right, poor James Madison was only 64 inches in height. So we start with that, 64 inches. Well, when you look at the page, we hopefully you notice that 1 inch is 2.54 centimeters. So when I do that, it will allow my inches to cancel out. I multiply across, and James Madison was 162.56 centimeters. All right, at this point, I would like you to turn to page 92 and work on problems 4 through 8. All right, so for number 4, the first thing that you have to notice is that you are in feet and inches. You've got to be in the same thing. So if we would start with 6 feet, we know there 1 foot is 12 inches. So my feet go away. That gives me 72 inches plus the 9 extra inches. So we're starting with 81 inches. So if I have 81 inches, I'm going to look at my conversion sheet, and I know that there is 1 inch to 2.54 centimeters. Inches cancel out, and this player is 205.74 centimeters. Okay, let's look at number 5. Okay, so we start with grams. I've got 700 grams. I want to go to ounces. So when you look at your thing, you should notice that I only have kilograms to pounds. Well, You can do this two ways. If you think about it, grams to kilograms, I've got to go left 3 places. So if I go 1, 2, 3, I end up with 0.7 kilograms. Okay, that allows me now to use 1 kilogram is 2.2 pounds. But I don't want to be in pounds, I want to be in ounces. So 1 pound is 16 ounces. So that allows my pounds to cancel out, my kilograms to cancel out, and I end up with 24.64 OZs. Number 6. Okay, so we're talking about the winner of the Kentucky Derby. First it says, write a ratio of the length of the track, 1.25 miles, to the time it took him to win, right? The winning time, which was 2 minutes. So we are in miles per minute. We want to know that in miles per hour. So I like the miles. This is good. Miles can stay. But I've got to change this minute. So notice, now we're kind of opposite of what we did before. I have minutes in the bottom, so I want minutes in the top. 60 minutes is 1 hour. So when I do that, my minutes cancel out, and now I have miles on the top, hours on the bottom. So I multiply 1.25 times 60, divide that goodness by 2, and this horse traveled approximately 37.5 miles per hour. That's moving it for a horse, isn't it? I don't know, maybe it's not, I don't know. Number 7. Okay, we got 181 kilometers from Stratford to Toronto, playing up in Canada here. How many miles is that? Well, if you use the conversion, I'm going to put kilometers on the bottom. So 1 kilometer is 0.621 miles. That makes my kilometers cancel out. I multiply across, and we have approximately 112.401 miles. And I recommend, if you only have 3 decimal points after, don't round, just put all 3 of them there, right? You want to be as exact as possible. All right, now I'll be honest with you, I'm not a big fan of number 8, but we're going to talk about it a little bit anyway. So in part 8A, how long is a millisecond? Well, if you think of a second in terms of like where the units go in the metric system, a milli is 3 to the right? So a millisecond is super small. So it's like 1/1000th of a second, which would be like 0.001, right? So it's very small because you would move your decimal 3 places to the right. Okay, so a millisecond is super small. So this is how much of a second we have. Now in part B, it talks about the speed of the transmission in miles per hour. Well, the speed of this transmission right now is 10,000 miles over 170 milliseconds. Well, the milliseconds really doesn't work so well for us. So the first thing I'm going to do is say 170 milliseconds, right? This is a millisecond. So I'm going to multiply by 0.001, and this gives me 0.17 seconds. Okay? So still here in part B, I've got 10,000 miles over 0.17 seconds. Okay, right? That's super fast. So now I want to be in miles per hour. So I'm going to do the 60 seconds is a minute, and 60 minutes is an hour. And notice how my minutes go away, my seconds go away. So I'm going to multiply the top, divide by 0.17, and we get this big honking number, 211,764,705.9 miles per hour for the speed of that transmission. Now, the reason I don't like this question is because now we get to part C, and it says compare this speed to the speed of light, which is 299,792,458, oops, forgot my 5, meters per second. That's meters per second. So you can't compare those two because one is miles per hour and one is meters per second. So the first thing you have to do is change this big honking number to be miles per hour. So I'm going to call this whole number, I'm just going to call it smiley face for now, okay? So I've got smiley face meters over 1 second because that number is huge. So now the first thing I'm going to do is go to hours. So I'm going to say 60 seconds is a minute and 60 minutes is an hour. Okay, so that, shoot, I did not mean to cross out the hour. I'm dumb. Okay. So my minutes go away, my seconds go away. Now I'm in meters per hour. So when you think about it, we now want to get rid of the meters. Well, to meters to kilometers, you might remember that there are 1,000 meters in 1 kilometer. That allows us then to say 1 kilometer is 0.621 miles. So now I can multiply across the top, right, with this big number going here, divide by 1,000, and we're going to get 670,216,019.1, and that is miles per hour. So now that you've done that big honking conversion, now you can compare your answers for B and C, and the answer for C is about 3 times as much as the answer, actually it's a little over 3 times as much as the answer in part B. So that rounds out lesson 10, which is our beginning of conversions. Thanks for joining me.